Canada's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Quadriga CX, has 30 days to search for the $250 million that's missing following the death of the company's founder in December. More than 115,000 users have invested assets with the company and stand to lose millions of dollars. Joining us now is economics and money editor at Vice, Anne Gaviola. And thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so a court in Halifax has granted Quadriga a month of protection as they try to figure their way around this. Essentially, one guy held the keys, right? He had all the passwords, I'm guessing. How does an exchange lose $250 million?
That is the $250 million question, and this is just sort of the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's going to become public knowledge in this fascinating case. So they've got 30 days for anyone who's going after them for legal reasons to kind of chill out. The hope here is that the company is going to be able to regroup and figure out how to access, recover, recoup that money. Some of it is in cryptocurrency, and it's in sort of this equivalent of a digital vault, which the CEO, who has passed away, had the passwords to, and apparently no one else does. And it's a bizarre story in that, you know, millions in transactions were being done by this company, and it was sort of run by this one guy with a laptop.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any forethought into what would happen if. Do these people, beyond what they've just been given by the court, do they have any protections? Do they have any security against this sort of risk?
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Well, if they're watching, give them the good news first.
Okay, well, so the good news is, yes, in terms of consumer protection, there's a little bit. There is sort of bankruptcy laws, and that process has started. When it comes to things like, have contracts been broken? Yeah, maybe there's something there. If this exchange had insurance, and we don't know at this point that it did, that could come into play. But I want to be very clear about something. These are unsecured creditors. So what that means is when you line up all the people that this company owes money to, all the entities, unsecured creditors, back of the line. Best case scenario for them, pennies on the dollar, a fraction of what they're owed. It could take months, it could take years, they might never get anything. And from an investor protection standpoint, it's a Wild West.
I gotta say, my heart breaks for some of these people because I was reading articles about some of these people had put their entire investment, their entire retirement fund into something like this. But when what very little I know about crypto, it's risky, it's volatile, it's unsecured, it's anonymous. I mean, these are buzzwords not associated with sort of the guarantees of working with a bank or with something that's endorsed by the government.
That's right. So this is an industry that is not regulated like a bank or a stock exchange, for example. And I mentioned the term the Wild West. If you want to invest in this kind of thing, do your research, but understand that you don't have a safety net. And I would say, I'm actually working on a piece for Vice about all of this. Don't put money into it that you're not willing to kiss goodbye. And just a general rule of thumb, don't invest your money in something that you don't quite understand. And maybe one of the takeaways from the Quadriga situation is don't leave your money, your digital assets hanging out on an exchange. There's a sort of a parallel that I would draw to if you buy something online from like a clothing retailer and you exchange that item and you get a store credit. If you don't spend that store credit, if you don't get it off the platform and that company goes bankrupt, you're kind of in the same situation as these customers.
Except with a very big credit. And thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.